Where have you the...
Are you picking? No, yeah.
I'm going to go around the other side.
Oh, okay.
I know, you leave it.
You hate walking? Oh dear. Right, well... No. Right, welcome everybody.
Thank you.
Welcome everybody. We've actually just driven 2 miles, but into a completely different type of farming here. This is heavy land, clay land, whereas at Hatfield where we've come from it's really light sand that tends to blow away. And this land's ideal for wheat, which is my main crop.
Welcome.
Pardon?
Welcome, he says.
Oh yes, welcome. Yeah, welcome everyone. And last year all the wheat that grew off this block of land, there's about 200 acres, it all went for organic bread. So I was really pleased. And the thing about organic farming is you'll get a lot of weeds. If you compare my crop here with my neighbours across the road, this is a lot cleaner. There's not so much grass, and those yellow flowers are called charlock. So all the same, it's reasonably good. Right, where's coming off?
Coming back over.
Let's go to the banks or whatever. They can say for the past year the wind speed has been such and such because they have the records, and then they'll say, well, you could have produced so much electric. Would you like to invest so much in this project?
And
So
you can farm round them.
oh, they're a nuisance. They're a nuisance. But I was ploughing round it, you see, this time.
Yeah.
Back end.
Well, what about your wind turbines? How much
When the
space are they
turbines
gonna
go in,
take
yeah,
up?
you can work round them all.
Yeah, this gentleman has some turbines next to him.
Yeah, you can work round them.
I mean, there'll be a concrete pad for,
Yeah.
I don't know, is it quarter of an acre, something like that?
Yeah.
So, and this leaf is called the flag leaf. I guess because with a big imagination, it looks a bit like a flag.
Have all of them?
No, these are all
no.
secondary leaves. It's just these ones at the top.
Yeah.
These big, broad ones.
That one up there.
And have you children heard of something called photosynthesis?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
Don't pick it. Don't pick it.
you're all right there. Yeah, well, mustn't
Full
contract
row.
what Mum says. You're right.
Going there.
A plant gets. Do you know what the plant breathes in? What do we breathe in? Oxygen, yeah. And we give out
Carbon dioxide.
carbon dioxide. And the plant's the other way about. It takes in carbon dioxide to photosynthesize. And one of the main problems with organic farming is this flag leaf gets disease, you know, like mildew. But I'm very, very pleased this year that it's clean, isn't it?
Yeah.
You feel as though you can almost eat that. But last year, that leaf got covered with something called rust. So my yields were way down because the plant couldn't breathe.
Do you
And
fertilise the land obviously before to prevent this sort of thing, or not? Not really. No, 'cause
Well,
they're organic,
you
they
can't
don't do
spray,
that,
yeah.
No.
the majority of farmers, the vast majority, spray
Yeah, they do, don't
what they
they?
call fungicides, obviously, to defeat and inhibit these fungi.
Yeah.
But we're left really to choosing a good variety that's quite resistant.
Yeah.
And although there's a bit of disease on these bottom leaves, they're starting to die off anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm real pleased this year that the disease levels are quite low. So it should be, which means it should be a fairly good yield.
Yeah.
But on organics farms, you can't put fertiliser on.
No.
So we rely on something called clover, which takes, you know, Toby, you said about oxygen, we breathe in oxygen. Do you know what the rest of the air is?
No.
In the main?
I
The rest of the air, about good 3/4 or more, is nitrogen. And nitrogen is essential for plants, and we use clover to get nitrogen from the air for the plants, so we don't have to put fertiliser on.
The ground's looking pretty dry. Do you want some more rain, or are you happy with it?
On this land, the subsoil's clay, almost pure clay. So we generally do well on a dry time, and I'm not too worried about rain. In fact, I'd much rather have it too dry than too wet.
Good.
We do a lot better in dry conditions. But on the Hatfield land, it's just the opposite. The subsoil's pure sand, so it needs
Plenty of
plenty
water.
of water, otherwise it just dries out. But this crop's looking really well. I say, apart from the grass weeds and that, which we can't spray, so we just have to put up with. This hedge along here, it was all gaps. You know, a bit of a hawthorn here, hawthorn there. And so through the environmental scheme, I've planted it all up with maple, and there's a bit of blackthorn, a bit of hazel. So we've got a fairly decent hedge all the way along. And over the last 4 years, we've planted about 1.5 miles of hedgerows. And hedgerows obviously attract all sorts of different insects. Hawthorn alone attracts 209 different species of insects. And the hedges, together with these grass margins, you know, when I say margins, just the outside of the field, they attract all sorts of different little creatures. To use the fancy term, they're a powerhouse of biodiversity.
I just read it this morning.